Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
It's three sports-loving ladies and JJ.
And
LaSelva.
JJ. Don't forget
Never
JJ.
forget JJ. I'm making sure that the 1010XL live cam is showcasing our producer extraordinaire right now.
Because I will say, Brian said, I can only see JJ's back. And I'm like, well, clearly we need to fix that because JJ's face needs to be there for all the world to see.
He's not the only one. I've had several people who say, "Can you please move the camera?" Trust me, we are efforting trying to move the camera so you
JJ,
can
doesn't that make
see
you feel good?
JJ's face.
It doesn't. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
It's funny. There's that phrase like face for radio, right, versus face for TV, all that stuff. I'm always like, I prefer radio. No cameras. I don't need people seeing all my flaws. Thank you very much.
That's
This is
natural.
the world we live in now.
Yeah,
That's right.
Because I made a comment earlier because Steve was talking about this camera and he's like, it's kind of the way I have to sit in heels, obviously, as I
Right.
look at you guys, unless I just stare this way, but it's a little awkward if
Right.
I look to the right. So I usually look this way, which cuts off, like it's kind of a weird profile.
Is that
but
your
even
good side that it cuts off?
But, yeah. So he was like, why don't you switch to the other side? I was like, no, that's my bad side. And he was like, oh, okay.
Women, I don't know if men have that, but women definitely have a
Good and
quote
bad
unquote a
Oh, yeah.
good side.
It is still a work in progress, folks. Don't worry. We're messing around with different camera angles, but we appreciate those tuning in on YouTube or Twitter or right here on the Superstation or the app as well, which is back up and running. Thank you, Taylor Dahl.
Oh, yes, you're welcome.
And so I had a lot of people, I don't know about you, Lauren, we had a lot of people who were calling in, texting on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures saying, the app's not working.
This
Like,
was what, last week, right?
Taylor has fixed it. You're good. Don't worry, America. We're ready to rock and roll.
Well, and I will say that's how when I listen at home, I listen on the app. So when it's down, I'm certainly one of the first people to be like, Richie, our
not
engineer.
working.
Yes, it's not working. All right, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. He got a 5-year extension for $255 million. Mia, the first thing I thought was only 5 years? That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what's most fascinating because you've seen Patrick Mahomes, you've seen Josh Allen signing these mega long-term deals, but then you also consider how much guaranteed money and how much money per year Jalen Hurts will be paid as opposed to some of those other players, and he immediately becomes the highest paid player in National Football League history, and I don't think anyone could have seen that coming when he was drafted in the second round back in 2020, and so if anything, maybe there were some concessions here and there, and they said, you know what? Shorter deal, more money. And I mean, in reality, who's going to say no to that, especially knowing full well, and this is what I brought up yesterday on XL Primetime as well. The fact of the matter is that this Eagles team, outside of Jalen Hurts and their pieces at wide receiver, it's kind of old. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. However, that offensive line, when you consider Lane Johnson, when you consider Jason Kelsey, yes, they certainly have young guys waiting in the wings, but at the same time, there's a lot of veterans in the trenches, and they're not sure, perhaps, where this thing goes from here. I mean, look how quickly the Carson Wentz experience blew up. They won a Super Bowl back in 2017, 2018, and most of the guys that were on that team have been jettisoned. And so that's where I think it's a lot of it is Howie Roseman thinking in the short term as well.
Well, and Josh Allen's was only 6 years, so his wasn't one of the crazy longs. It was Patrick Mahomes. That's the 10-year one. To me, that's crazy. When you saw the long contracts, to me, are crazier than maybe the big money that Jalen's getting because in 5 years they can be done. And so that's what I see. They are noticing it's a little bit of a shorter window possibly for Philly, while the Chiefs are like, in their minds, are like, no, it's Patrick Mahomes. We can keep doing this for 10 years. And with Jalen, they realize, like, Jalen's good and he's done a lot of good things, but they also had to have a lot of the right pieces to make all of those things work this last couple of years,
Yeah,
especially
70
the Super Bowl.
sacks.
Yeah, they needed a good amount of help from the defense, and he also is one of the quarterbacks that, the health part is probably in question a little bit too, because we've already seen a couple injuries from him, and he's very mobile and moving around, and so it'll be interesting. And like Mia said, when you're looking at that offensive line, he had one of the best in the league. That's not going to stick around. So what happens when you do lose that? Is he running even more, and there's more chance of injury? So I think they thought about it in a smart way of like, hey, this guy can take us to another Super Bowl because he just took us to one. So we have the chance of going to another one. But the window's short. So let's give him a bunch of money, and in 5 years we can wipe our hands clean if we have to.
I think they are banking on the fact that Jalen Hurts will grow as a pocket passer. And so the mobility that's ideal right now, less and less of that will be needed as he grows in this league. Because, yes, he's been in the league for long enough to get a new contract, but he hasn't obviously been starting for that long. I know the next question obviously is what is Trevor Lawrence's contract going to look like? But has anyone else, and I hate to even ask this question or even put it out in the universe, but it has to be asked, like, if Trevor doesn't have the year that we're all expecting, if he has a year more like,
Josh Allen's this past year. Josh Allen threw a ton of interceptions.
Right, more interceptions than you'd like and not as many touchdown passes. Or if there's injuries, and God forbid that part. And I think he'll be healthy, so I certainly don't even really want to mention that. But if the numbers aren't where you think they should be, that's when I wonder what happens. Like, if he plays well, we all know Shad Khan is going to write whatever check, and he'll be the richest quarterback at that point in time until the next quarterback gets paid. But I do wonder what happens if it doesn't go according to plan.
And Lauren, I've thought about that a lot because when the Jalen Hurts stuff came out, that was one of my first thoughts because obviously you're like, oh man, and the initial reaction from a lot of people was Trevor's going to get $60 million a year. I'm like, but if he takes the Jags to the Super Bowl this year, like Jalen just took Philly to the Super Bowl, granted, help around, but if that happens, then yeah, you're seeing a number like that. But what if it's not that type of season? Then what does a contract look like? Because not that you would lose total confidence in Trevor Lawrence because you've definitely seen the pieces there, but what type of season would it take this year for them to give him $60 million next year?
Right. And I think that a big part of this, too, is also going to be how the Jaguars are saving room on the cap right now. I know a lot of folks, see that the fact that they've cleared space, they've restructured deals, they have $15 million in cap space, the 10th most in the league, and they're saying, all right, let's go after Leonard Floyd. Let's go big fish hunting. Well, here's the problem. Even with the salary cap going up $50 million next season, the fact of the matter is that you also have to pay Calvin Ridley, assuming that he performs like you hope he will. And if Josh Allen is going to stick around here long term, he is also playing on the fifth-year option. And then, not to mention,
Evan.
You also have Evan Ingram, so you still got to negotiate that deal as well. And I wasn't even thinking of that. I was going to say Tyson Campbell is going to be due for a payday. He can't play on the fifth-year option because he was a second-round pick. If Walker Little steps up in a big way, now you got to pay him as well. And so that's where I look at the Jaguars' cap space situation this season, and I won't be surprised if they try to save some money, let some stuff roll over, push it ahead, because they know they are going to have to pay the piper in more ways than one, even beyond Trevor Lawrence and the mega deal.
And it's the cost of doing business. The more successful your company is, the more you have to pay your employees. Okay. The difference is there's no salary cap on the on the standard capitalistic business, and there is in the NFL, but it's going to go up. So that's where I tend not to freak out about who the Jaguars have to pay and when, and think more about let's really maximize this team right now. Because it's funny, we talk about this team, I feel like sometimes, as if they've been successful the last 3 years running. And instead of, oh, wow, they were one play away from not making the playoffs, or they were very close in the middle of the season to not even like sniffing the playoffs, and Trevor having the bad first half of the season and all those things that go into it. And so it's like, let's just take a deep breath and let's not worry about the money right now. Let's worry about just this season. But Taylor, Evan Ingram is not in the building as of today, or as of yesterday when the Jags reported for off-season voluntary workouts. Are you freaking out?
I'm not freaking out, no. I think that we see this a lot. I think it's happening a little less than it used to. I feel like it was way more – it happened a lot more in the NFL before. Those guys that were getting the franchise tag would not really sign it right away and would wait and linger until maybe they did come up with some sort of deal or they finally sign it. But these are voluntary things, and we see it every season, certain people not showing up. It worries me more once it's a little farther in, even though – there's points at OTAs where it's not mandatory for some of these guys. And even then people will be like, don't freak out. I'm like, I freak out a little more when it's to the point where you're a little deeper in the season and you're maybe a month away from training camp. But I heard, Mia, you were talking earlier on Primetime too, that he's not the only one either.
There's a couple guys that are no-shows, which again, it is voluntary. We need to stress that. This is voluntary. I know, I circle back to 2019 and, a Mount Rushmore press conference in the last 10 years of the Jacksonville Jaguars when Coach Coughlin had to, call out the two players who did not show up to OTAs, one being Jalen Ramsey. Shocker, I know, because, again, voluntary. And the other one was Telvin Smith, who ended up retiring. So, other than that, they had almost perfect attendance.
Yeah.
And listen, Would you like to have perfect attendance? Absolutely. But when it comes to Evan Ingram, he's not technically under contract. He hasn't signed the franchise tender yet. He doesn't have to ensure he's going to be on the roster until July 17th, technically. I think he will sign it before minicamp if Doug Peterson does make it mandatory, I would think. We saw some similar situations across the league over the last few years, although Yannick Ngakoue had the benefit of the COVID pandemic, so he didn't have to sign his before minicamp opened back in 2020 here with the Jaguars. And so it'll be curious to see how he kind of plays his cards. But at the end of the day, this is just what standard operating procedure is in the National Football League. I'll keep y'all posted, though, who else I hear isn't there, because that's certainly of note.
Because my question also is, why wouldn't Evan already have it signed? Because it's $11 million, and the tight ends that went in this market, I think we're getting 8 or 9 this offseason, and he'd be getting 11. So I feel like, personally, I'd be like, let me sign this and get $11 million and then do what I did last year and make even more next year.
I assume that means they're still negotiating a long-term
Some
deal,
of the
or
small details.
one part of his camp believes that they still could negotiate. Otherwise, yes, I mean, I understand signing it. I think you always want the long-term deal with the more guaranteed money, because if you get hurt, even in that situation, you're covered. But yeah, it's a complicated situation, I think, for certain teams if they think the player's unhappy. Here, I don't worry at all, because Trevor Lawrence, we've seen video of him throwing to Calvin Ridley, the newest member of the Jaguars, and Evan Ingram. Like, I think even if Evan doesn't show up to the voluntary workouts, he and Trevor are still going to have those sessions where they're just hanging out, and they're going to keep that chemistry going. And I think Evan really does want to be here for the long haul.
And also, let's look at it this way. This phase of OTAs, I mean, they're in the weight room.
Right.
They're in like a meeting once a week, and that's it.
By the way, that sounds like the life for someone like me who enjoys working out. You tell me my only job is to go work out and go in a meeting once a week. Like, sign me up.
Apparently,
what time do I have to be there?
Correct.
Apparently, Trevor was at Dreamette today, so I'm sure he got a lift in, got a run in, and went to Dreamette. So, hey,
Topped it up
listen,
with some
I'd sign up for that, too.
And some guys get incentives for also showing up. I think I read Kyler Murray was one of them, where he gets an extra like $500,000 if he goes to voluntary camp.
Gosh, we think that cat's not all that smart, but maybe we're wrong. All right, coming up next, we have a special guest coming in studio. JU women's basketball coach Special Jennings is going to join us. Can't wait to pick her brain all about her upcoming tenure with the Dolphins. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Tire Outlet on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From worst to first.
You're AFC South champs, baby.
Finally, an off-season without a top 10 draft pick. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
All Weather Contractors is hiring experienced commercial construction team members now. If you want the most competitive pay for your experience, eager for opportunity and advancement, and if bonuses, benefits, 401k programs, and employee stock ownership opportunities sound appealing, we should talk. We're a full-service multifamily and commercial construction company focused on building better careers for people with a purpose. Build a better career in the commercial construction industry. Apply online at allweathercontractors.com today.
Hodges Mazda is honored to shine a spotlight on our healthcare professionals in appreciation for all they do. Lauren Brooks here. Lease a new 2023 Mazda CX-5 Premium today for only $490 a month and only $490 due at signing. Plus, receive 2 years free maintenance, which I love. The sales staff does not work on commission, allowing Hodges Mazda to put your best interest first. Lease your Mazda CX-5 for $490 a month as our thank you. Visit Hodges Mazda online at hodgesmazda.com. See dealer for details, terms, and fees for qualified active healthcare professional lessees on select models. 36-month lease expires May 1st, 2023.
The Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Florida safe for 80 years. I'm Megan Ehlers, Member Services Specialist. Whether your organization is large or small, we're a nonprofit that provides the services you need to take the worry out of compliance. Benefits of membership include thousands of online and instructor-led safety and health classes, learning management system access, safety walkthroughs, orientation program development, and consulting services. For more on becoming a member, visit nefsc.org.
Buying a car can be stressful, especially one sold as is or with no warranty. Do the 7, 10, or 30-day warranties leave you wondering what will happen on day 31?
Stop. Car buying doesn't need to be so stressful. Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet now offer the exclusive Beaver Certified program protecting your used car for 7 years or 100,000 miles. That's right, certified Hondas, Fords, Nissans, and any other make you consider now come with the peace of mind you deserve. Shop worry-free at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Starting April 26th, the annual Jacksonville RV Stadium Show is back with the Duval Draft Night Experience. This is the place for the largest selection of new and used RVs, and we'll even buy yours. Factory reps will be on site for this 5-day-only factory-authorized RV sale. And you have the chance to win Jaguars season tickets, signed merch, and a free RV rental. The Jacksonville RV Stadium Show from April 26th to the 30th. Sponsored by Travel Camp RV, official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, and happy to report that Dandy has some brand new goodies, and they're only available at select Gate stores around town. 5 delicious new breakfast items to start your day off right. Fresh buttermilk biscuits, flaky croissants, French toast, maple waffles, all matched up with country sausage, ham, or bacon, fried eggs, and cheddar cheese. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so go out and make yours a dandy just a little bit earlier tomorrow.
Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
Score more savings at your home team Ag Pro. Right now, get a John Deere Z920M starting at $11,299. Team up with us online at agproco.com to find the location nearest you. See dealer for details. Offer ends 4/30/23. Some restrictions apply.
Mike Dempsey for Tire Outlet. Ride in style with a brand new set of tires from my friends at Tire Outlet. We offer the best selection, best quality, and best prices so you can find the best tires for your vehicle. With over 40 years of experience at 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust with your vehicle's tires and much more. Hurry in for great deals on tires with our legendary price match guarantee. Our expert technicians are ready to do the maintenance and repairs to keep your vehicle performing its best. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Drivers and heavy truck mechanics, if you like sports, then you're going to love working at Waste Management.
We have a team atmosphere here where we're looking out for one another. We jump in to help out.
Listen up. WM is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
It's camaraderie. It's everything. I like it.
Steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous boot and tool allowance.
Plus, over-the-top benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and home every day.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics. Apply online at wm.com/careers. That's wm.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people first, military friendly, equal opportunity employer. We are WM.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. A Tuesday night tradition in Duval.
Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
I'm not gonna lie, Taylor Doll, I needed a little pick-me-up.
Is this helping?
I ain't got no money. Picking me up. It's picking me up right now. Our music theme tonight, in honor of Jalen Hurts' mega deal he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, record-setting deal, in fact, on Monday, is indeed songs that make us think about the money, help me, I'm poor, all that good stuff. Whose song is this one? JJ LaSalva. This is yours? Oh, it's
mine.
Taylor's.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it.
I wasn't sure.
Though.
I was like, did Lauren pick the same one? If not, I need to pick again. But we're good.
Okay, we're in the clear. And if you're joining us on the 1010XL live cam and you're noticing Lauren Brooks not in her seat, do not panic. Lauren is fine. She is actually welcoming our next guest into the studio. We are going to be joined by the brand new head women's basketball coach of your Jacksonville University Lady Dolphins, Special Jennings. But real quick, wrapping up our conversation with regards to Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Taylor, it's a 5-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's going to be curious to see. I saw ESPN's power rankings of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And he is, I believe, at this juncture, the second or third most likely, according to folks on NFL Live, to succeed Patrick Mahomes as NFL MVP. But Trevor Lawrence was on that list as well. So let's stick a pin in that, though. Let's stick a pin in that, though, as we do welcome Special Jennings into 1010XL Studios for the very first time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's begin with this. I know today was a busy day for you, the press conference, the touring around town. I see the rest of the crew here. So kind of walk us through the emotions of today in particular.
A lot of exciting emotions. Obviously, nerves kick in when you're getting ready to stand up and talk in front of a group of people. But I'm excited. I think that Jacksonville, the city, did a great job of welcoming me. Jacksonville University welcomed me with open arms, and just thrilled to be a part and be here. So it's been a busy but fun day.
So Special, you're familiar with St. Augustine, but
I
not
am.
so much Jacksonville proper, right?
Well, kind of. My wife actually lived in Jacksonville for a little time.
Okay.
My cousin played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
Nice.
When I was in St. Augustine, I was here quite often. So
Okay, so you realize Jacksonville's massive.
yeah.
And there are lots of different pockets. I heard you talking on the way in about different parts. Do you guys know where you want to live yet?
Not yet. That's where we're coming from. We just went to kind of look at a house and just trying to figure out if you guys have suggestions on an area that we can look at. But we're definitely in the market. We're looking.
Okay. I'm a beach girl, so I always recommend the beach.
Hello.
I was about to say, I think each of us may say a different area, so we
Nice.
can give you some recommendations.
Okay, well,
So-
great. That works.
Well, Special, what lead you to choosing Jacksonville then? 'Cause obviously, it's a big decision for you.
Yeah, you know what? The opportunity came open, and I kind of just went back and kind of looked at all of the things that I think that JU offers as student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to talking to the people that work for Jacksonville, a lot of the people involved are alumni.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that there's great things happening. And it's in a unique place for people to have that experience. And so I think that I obviously have the talent and the expertise to get Jacksonville University women's basketball back to national prominence. The way Yolette McPhee-McEwen had it, she had this thing rolling, and I look to kind of push us back in that direction.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask you about Coach Yo and her influence on you. Obviously, coaching in the area, too, when she was the head women's coach at JU. Your coaching career, to kind of give our listeners an idea of your resume, Special, it's kind of unconventional, perhaps, to go from coaching in the college ranks to then coaching, granted, an elite high school at Montverde Academy, and then going back to the college and making perhaps the biggest jump into the ASUN conference of your coaching tenure. And so kind of walk us through going from I'm going to butcher it. It's Augusta or Augusta? I should know that because it's in the Midwest. It's Augusta. I should know that. Going from Augusta to Flagler, UIC, then you go to high school. You lead Montverde to not one, not two, 3 national championships. Two. Okay, two. Sorry, two.
She putting it out there for whoever's next. Speaking that into existence for this coming season.
We are putting it into the universe because you built a national power there. How do you bop from one of those stops to the next?
I think that every stop was uniquely different, but every stop gave me something, a nugget, a gem to take with me. I think that I needed every individual place, having the opportunity to work with different heads and them doing things a different way, so it kind of helped me be able to lay out who I wanted to be as a coach, how I wanted to go about things, and how I wanted to implement things. And so I think that every stop was it was great. Mike Bradbury was phenomenal. We were there at Wright State. We went to the first ever NCAA tournament, birthed. Left there and went to Augusta. We went to the Division II Sweet 16. Left there, went to Flagler. We win 19 games that season, top 5 in the conference. There, my stint at UIC as the associate head was very short. There 2 years because the Montverde Academy opportunity opened for me to come and be a head coach and kind of step out on my own. And obviously, we were national prominence there and 2 back-to-back national championships. I've had the pleasure to coach some of the best players in the country, and like I said, I look forward to taking everything that I've learned and shifting that over to Jacksonville University.
JU women's basketball head coach Special Jennings with us. Special, what is it like telling your team that you're leaving and going to another school?
You know what? That's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Obviously when you 14 to 18-year-olds and they're away from home and they live with me. So, I go from coaching at the collegiate level where I'm big sis to now I'm more in a mom / auntie role. It's hard. We cried for about an hour but they understand. They understand that this was necessary. This is where, I believe in ordained steps and my steps, this is where I'm supposed to be. And the best part is that now, I told some of them, I'm gone for 1 year. Yeah. Now you get to come play for me for another 4 years. So, you have the best of every world. But that's tough. That's tough.
Obviously playing off of that a little bit because there's a lot of important parts of being a head coach of a basketball team, but at the collegiate level, the recruiting aspect is huge. So how important is that to you? And now also you do have a little leeway with the ladies around the nation. But what are some of your selling points for JU?
You know what? I like to keep some of my tricks in the bag, but obviously just being who you are. Being able to not only sell the university, but people want to play for people that they can trust. They want to play for someone that's going to run through the wall for them that they believe in. And I think that those qualities have always been near and dear to me, and I've always been able to kind of bring those to fruition. And so I think that I'm a player's coach. We're gonna have fun, but we understand the business. The business is going to class and being excellent in the classroom, and then that transitions over to basketball, and then being excellent in the community, because that transitions over to the real world. Once the ball stops dropping, you never know who you run into that can help you, and I'm big on that. And so definitely think we got some tricks.
Well, I'm excited.
We have some tricks.
Women's basketball obviously took center stage, rose to a prominence to a level I don't think it had seen this past March and this past April during the NCAA tournament. Coach Yo, former head coach at JU, was a big reason for that. Just across the board, though, obviously the ratings were crazy for the tournament, for the Final Four. And so taking over a college program during an exciting time and knowing someone you were close with and Coach Yo, seeing what she was able to do, just describe the emotions for you watching this year's tournament, seeing her and Ole Miss have success, and also seeing, the number of people that were watching women's basketball. And now you get to be, hopefully, coaching one of those teams that's playing in the tournament next year.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Yolette is a unicorn. She's unbelievable at her craft. And she's one of those people where she leaves her mark wherever she goes. And I think that for the city of Jacksonville, obviously, everyone speaks so highly of her. And it's because she was in the community. She's involved. You always want to see people win. People like her, you want to see win because they're so giving of themselves. And she made it a partnership with the city. Everyone was able to touch Yolette. And I look forward to bringing that, that same vision, partnerships, having people able, come over to the gym, see what we're doing, be a part of what we're doing, have, community engagement. So I think that Yolette has done a remarkable job of that. Obviously, also her marketing team. She's heavy in social media, and they do a great job of promoting her. So she's phenomenal, man. She's phenomenal. She's a great, like I said, she heard the likes of Dawn Staley and Carolyn Peck and the Care Lawsons, and they've all kicked the door open, and now I get to walk through. So it's amazing.
Any other current programs? Sorry to interrupt you, Lauren. Any other current programs that you watched that you say, hey, that's a program, that's what I want to model my JU program after?
Montverde Academy. Look,
there you go.
Look, I won a lot too now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? There are a ton of phenomenal programs out there. I love what Dawn Staley does. Yeah. I love what Yolette does. My former head coach, Kevin McGuff over at Ohio State. So there are quite a few that I still look at and steal little nuggets from and talk to and use, pick their brains and use what I can. It's like mud, you throw it and you see what sticks.
Special. Did you realize that Scott Manzi used to work here at 1010XL?
I did not know that.
So he did. But that leads me to my question about Scott Manzi. How much have y'all talked about Xavier basketball? And I mean Xavier. I don't know why I said Xavier, but Xavier basketball.
You know what? Scott was there during the best times of Xavier history. I'm saying that on the air, okay? The greatest team. But yeah, it's fun. Like I said, anytime that you can build and people have a great experience, you know, that goes with them. I didn't know that, you know, Scott was an alumni, and I had to go do some digging and reach out to some people and things like that. But it's just great. You know, we kind of come from the same I guess setting when you use Xavier, and he knows. He obviously knows I was a hell of a player, and that grit that I played with, and that fire, and what that looks like. So it's exciting. It's definitely exciting.
You researched Scott Manzi. Did you find any dirt on him?
Look, so I told you I gotta keep some of my tricks in the bag. I gotta keep some things, keep them to myself.
Fantastic. How much have you picked Jordan Mincy's brain since you arrived?
Oh, a ton. You know, Jordan, we have mutual friends, and so, but he's great. He and I have talked quite a bit, and I think that, you know, we're gonna do some great things together.
How fun was it for you? Because I know it was for us the last month, watching the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all the attention that the women's basketball tournament, NCAA tournament was getting. How cool was that for you to see people really giving the attention that it deserves in that sport?
You know what? I would say finally.
Yeah.
You know, I get so sick of hearing, you know, women's basketball is not exciting and we don't dunk and things like that. But, you know, if you really take the time to watch the women's game, we've evolved. You know, we've become bigger, stronger, faster. We are dunking. You know, we've always been smarter than the guys. But, you know, all things that it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And to be able to watch women play with that grit and, you know, for me, all publicity is good publicity. You know, so they tried to make the thing that Angel did a big deal, but all publicity is good publicity.
Hey, guess what? The men's game was happening the next day, and more people were talking about Angel Reese.
There we go.
And they were talking.
All publicity is good publicity. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, Special, we wish you the best of luck this season, and we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all so much. Come out. Come watch a game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
We absolutely will. All right, that is Special Jennings, JU women's basketball head coach, and certainly we will be following their team this season. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Tire Outlet on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ever wonder how Dan and Jeff got hired at 1010XL?
About a talk show host. I think I'd be good at that.
The Drill.
I talk to people all the time.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Someone even told me once they thought I'd be a good talk show host. Really? Yeah, a couple of people.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Some people don't do well under pressure. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we do it best. Whether you're spraying down the shop or getting the winter grime off your house, a Northern Tool pressure washer says you're serious about spring cleaning. From an all-electric power horse to a Honda-powered North Star, we'll help you build your perfect cold or hot water package with all the chemicals, attachments, and everything you need for the job ahead. Northern Tool and Equipment. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Hey guys, Hicken here. It's hot now and it ain't getting any cooler unless you stay cooler with Bueller. Bueller Air is still locally owned and still treating their growing customer base like they're part of the family. Go ahead and Google them yourself, Bueller Air. You won't find better rated air conditioning company in town. I use them, so I already know. I love them. Like I said, it's getting hotter than ever outside, so stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live,
you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. We want to win your business with honest and upfront transmission service. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. That's a promise from me. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Hey folks, you ever search why Shark Coatings is the best? Well, one of the many reasons is our polyurea. We don't just buy it from anyone who has it in stock. We custom blend ours, specializing between summer and winter blend, providing you with the best product for our area. After grinding the concrete, that polyurea will form a permanent bond at the molecular level and will not pull away like epoxy. With Shark Coatings, not only will your garage look awesome, but your pool deck, patio, or driveway will too. See how Shark Coatings can make a difference for you. Call, click, or text today.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Hey, Jack's Beats, Jeff Loggeman here. Hungry for the best brisket, pulled pork, spare ribs, jalapeno poppers, banana pudding? The Bearded Pig is there for you on 3rd Street to feed your whole crew. And don't worry for the folks in town, we're still here in San Marco. The Bearded Pig, Southern Barbecue and Beer Garden.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Seems like everybody's got a price. I wonder how they sleep at night when the sale comes first and the truth comes
Stilettos and sabermetrics.
Helmets and heels, driven by Tire Outlet. Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Can you feel that? Yeah, we're paying with love tonight.
It ain't ever about the money.
It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need the money, money, money. We just want to make the
I
world
couldn't just do
forget about the
price tag. Needed to do the Pitch Perfect version.
I was wondering which version this
Yeah,
was.
come on. It's the Pitch Perfect version, obviously. In case you're just joining us, our music theme tonight is indeed songs that make you think about that big old bag of cash that Jalen Hurts got, and we
That
all
we
wish
don't
we
have.
did.
I do have a question for y'all, all three of you. Taylor, I'll start with you. When you hear people talk about life-changing money, what does that mean to you? Like, if you got paid X, what would be life-changing money?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Way less than what Jalen Hurts got.
Agreed.
Honestly, like, there's, and it's weird because I feel like I could name a number right now, and then people would be like, "Oh, well, that would be gone in an instant if you actually, did X, Y, and Z with it." But for
It's all
me,
about context.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whoever the person is.
That's true.
Yeah, and because for me, if you're just saying like instantly what would just change my life right now, but not maybe like make my life completely different than what it is, then it wouldn't be an insane amount of money. It'd be way less than, probably like, let's just say even what like a minimum guy on one of the rosters is making.
Okay. Because I would go, if you gave me $250,000 right now.
I was about to say all that and you didn't give a damn number, Taylor.
I just said the minimum, so it's like
Which is-
300, 400,000.
okay,
That's
there
what
we
they
go.
make at the bottom of the roster.
Yeah, I think theirs is now up to like
500-ish.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between 400,000 and 500,000, which it used to be. I want to say like 10 years ago, it was even like right at like up 300,000.
Yeah.
So it has certainly increased like the rest of the salaries. But yeah, I think if you gave me $250,000 right now, which is like, I don't even know the percentage out of 255 million that is. I don't do math in my head like that. But that literally would secure enough money for me that I don't think I could ever spend that. Like, I do not. Yeah, I don't. Not saying like.
Oh, you would have to still work.
Well, right, and that's the thing. Like, I never want to be completely
Not saying like quit your job and go like travel.
But
the
I mean,
world.
as far as like stressing over money, that would change my life. As far as I would not have to stress over money. I would put that away. I wouldn't touch it, and then I know that I would have that. And maybe that means that I'm not doing a good enough job at retirement, JJ.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I agree that if I got $250,000, that would change my life for the better.
Yeah.
But
It's not life-changing.
it's not life-changing money.
It's got to
Absolutely
be at least
not.
a mil for me to be.
Yeah, I was thinking, but between 500 and a mil.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's life.
But even $1 million, if you gave me $1 million, I wouldn't stop working.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy it so much.
Yeah, well, my job's super easy, but just like you're gonna, if you have kids and the way that the world is working,
Sure.
you know,
Like generational wealth is different than life-changing money.
but even if
Generational
you
wealth
had-
would be like at least $10 million.
even if you had $1 million right now, and I have 4 kids. Or even if I just have 2 kids,
Right.
You want
You're still
them
gonna work.
to go to private school. You want them
Yes.
to drive nice cars. You want them to go to
Daycare.
college.
No, I don't want my
Exactly.
kids driving nice cars.
What?
No, those things are going to get hit.
Well, they're a big SUV, like
Yes, I hear
something
you.
safe.
Something
I'm just
very
saying,
safe, yeah.
if you want them to live comfortably, you're definitely going to need at least $1 million.
And so I've always thought that that's a conundrum. Like having enough money that your kids get to live comfortably, are you really teaching them the lessons that they need to work, they need to earn a
Who
living?
cares about that?
I would say I would say
That everyone wants their kid to be more comfortable than they were. That's just how you feel. when
also
you-
define what comfortable
I don't know
is.
if everybody wants that.
Because like my
So
thing,
you
some
think people
parents-
don't want their kids to be
Yeah,
comfortable?
I know for a fact
no.
there's parents out there that are like,
They're
no, I
terrible.
had to go through this. Like, you need to learn the hard way.
That's
no, I
terrible.
meant more. Sorry, I meant
Not
more so
saying mine.
define what is comfortable. Like, is it the kids that mommy and daddy give them like $500 a month?
Oh, that
like
is way too low nowadays.
So maybe $1,000.
Whoa.
What I'm saying is like, is it the kids that live in like McMansions and their
Right.
parents make millions, or is it like I don't know? Like I lived in a suburban like middle class town, and my family was
Yeah,
fortunate enough to
more
like.
comfortable than
Yeah.
you. I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
everyone wants their kids to grow up better than they did.
Right.
It's just
JJ,
natural.
It reminds me of the other day when you showed Matt and I the one. It was like the video of the guy and the girl was talking about she was in $300,000 worth of debt.
Oh, I saw one $1 million.
Oh, it was a million?
I saw $1 million.
I thought
And
it
the
was
guy was like, "How much is your
300 and
mortgage?"
just like her student loans or something
Yeah, and
like
credit
that.
card bills,
300,000.
and she was 29 years old, and he was 33 or something.
I mean, that could lead us down a whole different discussion of how you should manage your money and, things like that.
Yeah, and what you should go to school for,
Right.
and what do you even need to go to college for some people?
And that's the
it's-
thing, like you can make so much more in a trade if you can become specialized in a trade, whether that's
Yes.
plumbing, electrical, whether that's heating and air conditioning. Like if you can specialize in one of those and you become really good at it,
Or sales, like
Make
it
so
doesn't
much money.
necessarily have to be labor.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
college
I was just saying,
is
like-
such
right.
It's a money trap. First, I don't understand why so many people went to college. I mean, they're not working with
I
the
can
degree
tell
that
you-
they
Right.
went for. You're going to get
Yeah,
a
I'm
piece
not.
of paper.
But I
you know?
can tell you, JJ, to your point of everyone wants the next generation to be comfortable. The generation before us was kind of the first generation to a lot more go to school than not. And so they all just assumed, well, that's the best way to do it. But definitely.
Times are changing with that. I think people are rethinking what college actually means.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and my parents
It's
kind
a
of
racket.
impressed this on me. Now, granted, I had completely free tuition because I, qualified for it through Florida
Worked your ass
prepaid.
off in high school.
I did work my butt off in high school, and also because I live in the state of Florida. And I know Georgia has it also. But if you have a great lottery in your state, thank you for everyone who buys lottery tickets, you can go to school for free on that part. And then my parents were smart. When I was born, they did Florida prepaid. They got it locked in at the much lower rate. So by the time I got to Florida, the only thing I had to do when I worked was just pay for my own expenses. But my parents impressed this on me, and I didn't listen. Go get your master's immediately upon graduating from college because your undergrad is going to do virtually nothing for you. You've got to go get a master's, and you need to be in a specialized field. My mom was a speech pathologist her entire career. My dad was an attorney. So they both had extra schooling. And you know what I did? did not listen, graduated, and did not get a job for quite some time. I was a nanny for a year after graduating from Florida with a college degree.
Or you can just move to the cornfields of Iowa and be a sports reporter and make $30,000 a year.
Hey,
that's the other option. You tell me what you want to pick, kid.
That's the dream for some people. And I think that's the thing. Like, people would probably ask us, well, how did you get to work in sports? And I know we've told the stories over the years.
Be broke.
and that is certainly part of the journey of sports. You do have to work for free for quite some time before you start to earn money.
Right. Or you have to do 1 million internships for free while you're in school like I did. Which, listen, that's just part of the name of the game. But no, I will say this. Like, I was a straight A student. I also was on a full ride scholarship. But, like, by the end of my college career, and maybe it was all those unpaid and paid internships, I could not sit in a classroom. Heck no.
That's how I felt.
My mom says it all the time, and I know we love to joke around here that I got a master's in partying from the University of Iowa. At 22, 23, there was no way in heck that I was going to be sitting in a classroom after graduating college.
And that's how I felt, too.
The world is my classroom. I'm not going back. And, like, now I look back on it, and I'm like, damn, at least, like, a master's or a law, degree may have been nice from there, and I probably could have handled it, but no, I could not have the first 2 years. I was too busy partying.
Did you say a master's or a law degree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, same thing.
One
of the two.
One takes like a year, the other takes three.
Yeah, which I was there for 3 years. So that's why my mom is always like, you could have done that. And I'm like, well, maybe like a master's that third year, because, like, by the time I hit 24, like, all right, kind of calmed down a little bit. But those first 2 years, hell no. I was too busy partying. Sorry, Mom. Like, I was not going to be going to school.
Well, you're not alone. We're all short-sighted at that age, too. And
exactly.
I know for me, I had been studying my butt off since I was 8 years old in third grade. I started spending 3 hours a day on homework from the time I was 8 years old to the time I graduated from high school. And then I got to college and I was like, this is kind of easy, which then should have led me to go, okay, I can get a master's. But I was the opposite. I was like, all I want to do is earn a paycheck. That's it. It's going to feel so nice to have, like, real money coming into my bank account, because I'm old enough that my job in college, I got paid minimum wage, which was $5.25 an hour. And I think I got a raise to like $5.50 by the time I graduated.
Oh my goodness.
So I wasn't earning a lot by any means, but I did meet some great people. I worked in the financial aid office at Florida, and I think that led to my first career working in financial aid. But either way, all right, let's get it to Mia's mock draft 3.0. Mia, these guys are going to get paid so much, at least in the first round, that they're not going to have to worry about the conversations we're having. But who do you have the Jaguars taking?
You would be surprised.
Well, that's true, too. And everybody spends at a different level. I understand that.
And inflation and taxes, right,
Just
JJ?
Watch the 30 for 30 broke. I mean, like, so many of these guys throw their money away.
Also, JJ was talking about inflation this morning in our pre-show meeting.
Yeah, it's just everything in general. I mean, bag of popcorn at the gas station, $5.12. Gas, $3.75. Like, it's crazy out there. Nobody's, like, getting raises because things are more expensive. We're all just getting screwed and robbed and whatever. We just go along with it.
The world sucks, but maybe your Jacksonville Jaguars will finally hit on a pass rusher. I don't know.
Let's go.
At pick 24, I have the Jaguars taking in my third mock draft of the season, Myles Murphy, defensive end, Clemson. Originally, I had Brian Bresee here, and I hear Dane Brugler of The Athletic also is thinking Bresee is a fit for the Jaguars. He obviously plays more on the interior. Both of those guys were top 5, top 10 recruits coming out of high school. Murphy largely lived up to the billing, stuffed the stat sheet at Clemson. Bresee, maybe not so much. Of course, that can be attributed to injuries as well as the fact that he did unfortunately lose his sister to childhood cancer. Murphy really kind of in this situation would, if he's to be there at 24 for the Jags, I believe it's similar to when I had them selecting Sam Laporta, the Iowa tight end, last week. It's because Murphy is good at everything, but it's not like he has this crazy bend or look at him run the 40. It's just he's good. He's really, really good, solid across the board.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, to an extent, that's what Josh Allen was in 2019. He was the Nagurski Award winner, and, I mean, there wasn't, like, one thing that you went, oh, my God, like Jordan Davis, like, massive human being, or Nolan Smith is running this 40-yard dash at, however much he weighs at this time. I think that Murphy's just a well-rounded prospect. He is 6'5", 268, 33-plus inch arms. It's still bulky built, in my opinion. I think that what would be most fascinating if it's Murphy or a different defensive end who has scheme versatility, could play in a 4-3 or a 3-4 base defense. What does that mean for Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd? I don't think that this pass rusher class is as deep this year, and that's why I could see them going edge rusher in the first round, solely because the top is really good. And the middle is like good, but it's a lot of projects. I don't know if the Jaguars can afford.
But we love projects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that is exactly. And so that's where I don't know if the Jaguars can afford to say, all right, we're still developing Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd, and we're going to wait till the 4th round to take a pass rusher and hope the kid develops and we strike gold on it. When you also are still waiting for Jordan Smith to develop, and you drafted him 2 years ago. So yeah, Myles Murphy, pick 24. What do we think?
I like it personally. I have done a podcast on Myles Murphy and talked to some people who covered him through college, and they said almost, he's very versatile in the fact of he can play in different schemes, which is important. He also went to the same high school as Evan Ingram. They came out of the same high school, I guess, so there's a little connection there. But everything I've heard about Myles Murphy is he's really good, and if he's still sitting there, I feel like that would be a steal.
Well, so that's the other part of it. And Hayes Carline, I know, has brought this up on the Frangie Show, and he brought this up in our pre-draft roundtable that's going to drop next week on YouTube and on your podcast feed. He said the thing is there going to be the run on quarterbacks we are anticipating? Do we think teams are going to be trying to trade up for Will Levis, for Anthony Richardson, or is there subsequently going to be a run on tackles, a run on defensive backs that then could open the door for a Murphy to slip to 24 unbeknownst to everybody else?
Yeah, we certainly, the Jaguars, need a run on something. That's going to help. Run on multiple things would also help. It is crazy. You, 2 weeks ago, would have thought, okay, the top 4 and maybe 5 quarterbacks are going in the top 20. And then you get to this week and it's like, oh, well, maybe they're slipping. And I've gotten to the point where I really don't want to focus on the momentum of the draft. I really want to wait until we get to like the day before and then tune in and be like, okay, what's the last of it? It just feels like it's all over the place. And I know why. It's because the quarterbacks are not solidified as the top prospects. When you look at the top, say people's top 50 draft boards, the quarterbacks are not 1 through 10 by any means, or the top 5 are not 1 through 10. And so that's where there's just so many questions. But all I can say is I sure hope that the Texans take a quarterback at number 2. That's what I hope.
Well,
I know that it doesn't matter to me who it is.
The betting favorite now.
Yeah, he is. I just want them to take a quarterback because I have to do a mock draft for Loser Monday, and I would like to get at least the first 2 picks right, which I actually will probably put Bryce Young 1 and C.J. Stroud 2, which I thought it was going to be C.J. Stroud 1 for the longest time, but that seems to have changed.
Don't be surprised as well. I mean, the Texans have a second first-round pick from the Browns.
Right.
And so that's where I think they're hoping that no one really wants Will Levis, and then they can just, like, sneak up, trade up to, like, number 8 or number 7 and grab him there, or even let him fall to 11, or let Anthony Richardson fall to or not 11, 12.
Yeah. Titans have 11.
Right, and let him fall to 12. I don't think that's going to happen because I think a team like the Titans or the Vikings, if they're there at 8, 9, your Bears could accrue even more capital, Taylor, and they could try and make a move for there.
Yeah, that's definitely something floating around.
Yes, absolutely. Moving along in the mock draft real quick. Pick 56, second round, I have them the Jaguars selecting Joe Tippmann, offensive lineman, Wisconsin. He was the Badgers center for the last 2 years. I saw a couple other mock drafts have the Jaguars selecting him in the first round, and I saw lots of you who were very upset about it because what the heck? They just took Luke Fortner. Why would you do that? You would do that because he is the top overall offensive lineman on your board, and you care about Trevor Lawrence, and Ben Barch is coming off a season-ending injury, and Brandon Scherf is 31 years old. It's that simple.
So he can play left or right guard.
He can play left or right guard, they believe, and then
That's what maybe they were upset about because they thought he was just a center.
Right, exactly. No, very much, and I lay it out here, definitely can play guard. He's 6'6", 313, so he's got some size to him, too. I don't think you're going to turn him into a tackle, but obviously, the dude's got size. He did 30 reps on the bench. He's got the strength. He's only 21 years old, and so I think this would just be them picking the best available player, much like they did with Chad Muma a year ago. For what it's worth, the Jaguars coaching staff, I know, has significant interest in Tippmann. He did not work out at Wisconsin's Pro Day because he was injured, and this coaching staff was waiting on pins and needles for when he did do his workout, and then they flew up to Wisconsin and literally had to change their flight multiple times just to go to this guy's press or to his workout. So do with that information what you will. And I know we have to hit a break. So
he has a really great mullet, too.
Yes, he also has a mullet, so Taylor Dahl is a fan. And real quick, we'll do our...
She would change her flight multiple times for him as well.
In the third round, I have the Jaguars selecting Julius Brents, defensive back out of Kansas State. Started his career actually at Iowa, then went to K-State. Helped him go.
Trend.
Yeah, he was a top 15 corner pick coming, or a top 15 recruit at the corner position coming out of high school in Indianapolis. Flourished in Manhattan. 4 picks, 4 pass breakups this fall, 45 tackles. He is a zone corner, but he is pretty sound of a tackler. He can play some press man, and so I think, again, he's a guy where you stick him at the nickel. He's long as heck. You see how he does at nickel, and then eventually if you say goodbye to Darius Williams down the line, you push him out to the perimeter.
Sounds good. I think, if you're going to ask the positions that the Jaguars are going to take, edge, offensive lineman, and corner, I certainly think those are high on the priority list. All right, our Sweet Shots brought to you by the Black Sheep Group. Our next, you're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Charlotte on 1010X on 92.5 FM.
The Bold City's radio home of the Jaguars.
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Did you hear what's happening? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are spring cleaning. New inventory on the ground means the old has to go. Take advantage of the lowest prices of the new year by saving thousands on thousands of vehicles priced to sell. New and pre-owned prices have been reduced, and all sales associates have been instructed to give maximum value on all trades. But you better hurry. That's right. Best deals go first. Head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville to take advantage of the spring cleaning sale. We're here to wow you.
Creighton's Clearwater Revival's John Fogerty. The Celebration Tour. Special guest Hardy Har. Friday, July 28th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at theamp.com.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is teaming up with the NFL to inspire change. From now to draft day, Big Brothers Big Sisters is following the NFL draft, aiming to recruit potential bigs. Hi, I'm Brent from the 1010 sales team. I'm committed as a mentor, and we need you to step up and become a mentor too. There's a waiting list of more than 50 children hoping for a mentor. It's just a few hours a month. Be a mentor. Become a big. Visit bbsnefl.org. Be a mentor or visit Big Brothers Big Sisters and click on Big Draft.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
Mike Duracco here for Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage. Let me tell you, I had a bad standing water issue on my front sidewalk, and John Haney and his crew came in and completely solved it. Their service division fixed my sprinkler system too. We all know these guys' singing is terrible, but their service is excellent.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. All right, Mike.
And drainage too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Plenty of hot spots all over the First Coast, from the beaches to Riverside, San Marco, and St. Aug. If you're out and about and having fun, make sure you designate a driver so everyone on the road gets home safely. Budweiser, reminding you to play it smart.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors, and with great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? How about scheduling a free consultation or just stop by the Pella showroom right there on Phillips Highway next to Tesla. Pella's professional consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. From simple projects to complex renovations, their team has the experience needed to make your project a success. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows Indoors.
April is Head and Neck Cancer Awareness Month. If caught early, this disease can be treated effectively. So take control of your health with the experts at Ackerman Cancer Center. Don't delay. Get screened for any symptoms. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Children under 5 die from drowning in Florida more than any other state. Together, we can reduce the risk of drowning. The YMCA has programs accessible to families that teach essential water safety skills. Face the water with confidence. Learn more at watersafetyflorida.org.
As parents, we all want to ensure that our children are safe, secure, and healthy starting day one. Please make sure your newborn is sleeping safely. Visit WilsonChildren's.com/safe sleep for infant safety tips.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
Round up your friends and coworkers for the start of the Topgolf Spring Leagues. Each Monday from 6 to 9 p.m. for 8 weeks, you and your crew can compete for prizes and fun at Topgolf Jacksonville. Go to topgolf.com/leagues to sign up.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
I'm down to my last dollar. I've walked right through my shoes. Just a small reminder of the hell that I've gone through.
These heels are made for talking.
Helmets and heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Everybody say ha 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 ha.
That's the best thing you can do when you realize you've hit rock bottom financially is just start laughing. That's all. Tim McGraw's telling you. You just laugh because, you know what? You can work to get yourself out of it. There's been one time in my life when I was like, I legit have, I have no money. And it's astounding how quickly it can turn around. Mm-hmm. You just put your mind to it. But yeah, there was one time I was like, oh my goodness, this is not good. This is not the way it should be. But I will say that if you can, I feel like there are little girls out there listening to us, little boys, if you can keep yourself out of credit card debt, then I think you're going to be okay. That is the best advice I think I could give is if you can, whether it's not even having a credit card until you feel comfortable or just making sure you pay it off every month. And I know not everyone can do that. And I'm not saying you should have to do that. But if you can keep yourself out of reasonable credit card debt, then I think you're doing just fine. Like JJ said earlier, someone was in $1 million of credit card debt. You know how that happens? Because you go incrementally. Well, it's just a couple thousand and then it's just 10,000. Okay, we'll figure it out. But then you keep adding because it's so hard to get out of it because of those interest rates. All right, this is too much
just don't have
stuff.
A credit
We're not
card.
a finance show.
You don't need a credit card for a long, long time.
So here's the one thing that I'll say, and again, working in financial aid, I understand how things work like this, is your credit score can only go up if you do have credit. Mm-hmm. Like if you only have a debit card, your credit score is not going to be...
You can build credit different ways. I mean, pay your rent every month.
But not everyone reports.
Yeah, not everyone reports. And so that's where, if you can have just one credit card and pay it off every month, then you'll establish a good credit score, and then that'll help you later on. But like I said, this is too much. We're not...
Although we do have some listeners on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures that say, because they're close to our age, and they say they really appreciate it. So, hey, listen, we'll take it.
Absolutely.
You act like you're so old. I'm so over that.
I don't act like I'm so old.
Yeah, but you always complain about how you're like an ancient person.
No, I act like our eras of growing up are different. Like when
they're really not that different. I mean,
when we did the Disney movie thing, I didn't know a single movie.
You're like 7 years older than us.
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or 10 years
10
older
me,
than one person. But that's fine. You're right, JJ.
It is fine.
I will take that advice, and I will.
You're a young lass.
And I will ignore the lad comment. All right, let's get to our Sweet Shots, brought to you by the Black Sheep Group.
Jack Caglianone belts a grand slam to give the Gators an 11-4 lead over Georgia.
There's the ball the other way. That's hit pretty well. Tate trying to run it down, but he's going to run out of room. A grand salami and a one-handed catch by a fan. So both the Cags homers
bus to get started as Jack Caglione hits 20 and 21 here this afternoon.
Matt Fitzpatrick defeats Jordan Spieth on the third playoff hole at the RBC Heritage on Sunday, stuffing his approach in close on the 18th.
Very high and just left of it.
Not much. Bounce forward. It's right at it. Keep going. What a golf shot.
Patrick Wisdom hits 2 homers as the Cubs win 10-1 over the Athletics, tying him with Pete Alonso for most home runs in Major League Baseball.
Drilled center field. This one's back. That one's gone. Patrick Wisdom, a 2-homer night, and he crushes another one, and the Cubs have blown it open. 8th of the year for P-Wizzy.
P-Wizzy, I love that.
We got the robot lady has to work on her names a little.
Caglione.
The way she
Caglione.
That's how it's spelled.
How is it said?
It is
It's
spelled
spelled
weird.
Caglione. Nona, yeah, but it's pronounced Caglione.
Okay,
And
I
he, by the way, as we just heard, he had his 20th and 21st on Sunday. But tonight against FAMU, he just hit his 22nd home run of the season. But, of course, for people who missed the game, and we were at my parents' house watching, and my dad, Brian, and my brother and I, we were dying laughing when it all unfolded. So Brandon Neely is thrown out. He's ejected for something silly as far as just yelling at maybe the batter and yelling towards his dugout,
He was
whatever.
just celebrating a strike.
He
That
was.
so
He was
silly.
celebrating a strikeout, and
Yeah.
it was fine. But he had been warned, so that's why I guess the ump, took it to where he did and ejected him.
He's like, don't make those muscles.
Right.
That's what he did.
Exactly. So then Jack Caglione is able to hit a grand slam. You just heard a grand salami, and he walked around the bases with pencil arms. One Twitter account said it like a penguin,
Yeah.
which is true. And literally, but what was so great was he was straight faced.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had attempted to do that, I would have been dying laughing while being with my straight arms, not celebrating my grand slam. But his stone face was just what made it so funny. And then, of course, they kept showing it, and we laughed every single time.
It was great. And that's why I saw that part before I actually saw the grand slam and what happened. I just saw he was kind of like mocking the situation.
Yes.
I was like, that's great. And then when I saw actually how it all went down, I was like, okay, that's even better. Even better.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, thanks to Chef Rebecca Reed, who joined us a couple weeks ago. She'll be opening Florida Belle, and she is just phenomenal. You will love her pastries, so go by Bellwether now and get those. And then, like I said, Florida Belle will be opening soon, and we certainly appreciate the support of the Black Sheep Group. All right, Taylor, you have some baseball discussion you want to get into.
Yeah, so it was an interesting week, and it was funny because I even sent the video to JJ. He was watching some of the game but missed this. So the Cubs played the Dodgers out on the West Coast, which is terrible. They don't start until 10 p.m., and I'm so tired by 10 p.m., especially during the weekdays. But one of the games, it's obviously Bellinger's return back to Dodger Stadium, and so his first at-bat at Dodger Stadium, obviously, the whole crowd's standing up. They're all cheering for him. They're doing like a kind of honoring Bellinger's return there. And because of that, the pitch clock was counting down. And he ended up, which was weird anyways, because there were still 8 seconds left. But they called a pitch clock violation on him at 8 seconds. But even like while all of the crowd was being crazy, and that's why it was happening. Everyone was so frustrated. Luckily, it wasn't like a strike 3 call, but it was still, they were like, in honor of Bellinger, a strike on a pitch clock violation. I was like, why is it on us? Like, you need to switch this around. But it made me start thinking about how many maybe little issues we'll have like this, because you do see this happen often in baseball when a guy's making their return and they do their whole little thing, and usually they're waving to the fans and all of that. Pitch clock doesn't care. It's going.
Pitch clock don't care.
That's where the ump needs to use some common sense.
Yes.
Like, I can't blame the pitch clock on that. That's ridiculous.
Well, no,
I can't
and I'm more blaming
believe
the ump.
that he did that.
I know.
And, we saw this with the foreign substance rule, which, of course, they had to check everyone's hats and their gloves and their hands. And after a while, it was like some of these you could tell right away.
Much.
Like, some of these umps loved this.
Yeah, it's like the power they have
exactly,
in the game.
little bit of power that we give them. They're grasping it with 2 hands and holding on. Like, I hope that MLB talked to this ump.
Yeah.
And talk
this
to
can't
all
happen.
the umps. And we're like, when a guy comes back to his old park, they step out of the box, they take their helmet off, they give respect to the fans, and vice versa. Like, That's baseball. We can't have any of this. That I could not believe that happened.
know.
It was funny, but it also
It was
pissed me
funny.
off.
And it was funny, but then not funny because I was like, dang, he doesn't need to be down in 0-1. But also because I didn't even think about that, JJ, with when they were checking for the sticky stuff for a while. There was the one scenario where the one pitcher was like so angry. Remember, he like threw his glove.
Bumgarner.
Yeah, it was Bumgarner. Yeah, it turned
Mad
into this
bum.
whole
Yep.
ordeal, and I can definitely see situation. Luckily, honestly, Bellinger kind of looked and was just like, "What the heck?" And then continued business. Some guys would not.
How did he do it that at bat?
He honestly played really well during the Dodgers series, so maybe it was like his kind of like revenge series of being back. I can't remember honestly what he did, if he ended up getting a hit during that at bat. But could you imagine if he ended up striking out and one was because of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can imagine it because it feels like umps have an agenda at times. And so it's like, ugh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
yeah, you don't have to, even if you're in the box as a batter, you have to be looking at the pitcher.
Yeah.
With 7 seconds left.
Yeah.
You have to be ready.
Eye
and I don't
contact.
get that rule because, like, if they're in the box, you can just throw it.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's the difference if he's looking?
Yeah, exactly. Let the pitcher have the advantage.
Yeah.
But you get a strike anyway. I don't know.
So JJ, your Braves have won 7 in a row.
Yes.
Would you have rather had the way the Rays start 13-0 or the 7-0 right now?
Well, that's 6 more games if I'm doing my math correctly. So I would rather have 13-0.
But
than
see,
a
I don't
7-game
love
win
the
streak.
13-0 because I think the Rays team was so focused on getting to 14-0 and breaking the record. And then when that didn't happen, ever since then, they haven't been playing well. They also have some injuries, but that's what I think. It
You
kind
think
of
they were
got in
just
their
like
heads.
too focused on hitting that number?
Absolutely. And good teams they'll get out of the slump.
Because
but-
the Braves are 13-4 and you guys have 14 wins, so it is like you won 13 straight
Oh,
and
you're
are
saying
still
would I rather have the same? Okay.
like where you're sitting now.
Now I sort of
but
understand what you're
started
saying.
the way the Rays did, or
Right.
have like your little like you guys still started pretty hot.
Yeah,
Right.
we did. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, especially now that they got destroyed by the Reds.
Correct. 8-1
But that's
last night.
baseball. You know, I knew this would happen. I knew when they were playing the Blue Jays, by the way, they would at least lose one
Oh, I
game.
knew that
because
too.
the Blue Jays are so good. But yeah, I still like the Yankees to win that division. I said it even when they won 13 in a row.
That you did.
I love the Rays, but it's going to be tough, man.
Is there someone right now in the league that super shocked you, whether it's because they're playing better or worse than they were supposed to, JJ?
Yes, the Dodgers lineup, they're not like they used to be. Like, there's a lot of guys in there that you're like, huh, you know, this lineup isn't as stacked as it once was. Like, David Peralta's are in there and guys like that. And I'm just not as a Braves fan, I'm not as scared of the Mets, or the Dodgers as I usually am. That's a team that I just am surprised, and I would be shocked if they go on and win their usual 100+ games this year.
Yeah, so the Diamondbacks are playing so well.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are fun, but I think they'll probably be around 500, something like that.
Yeah.
It's so early.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
That's I'm trying not to get too excited, but it's fun when your
Yeah,
team's
the Cubs
playing
are
good.
fun.
That's why it's like I watch.
Enjoy it while you can.
when I watch when I can when there's games on, but also even with the Yankees injury woes, because yes, Giancarlo Stanton is hurt. I know you're shocked just like I am. I'm also like, there's still a lot of baseball to be played. You don't know who they're going to call up from the minors, who maybe can make some noise. I mean, I know Anthony Volpe hasn't been what a lot of Yankee fans hoped he would be, but I'm also like, it's early. He's young. Gleyber Torres is playing well.
Speaking of the Yankees, Shohei just went deep.
Oh,
Yankee
good.
Stadium, home
Nice.
run number 4.
Who's pitching tonight?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's Garrett Cole.
But Otani has just been
No, he's a freak.
amazing this year.
That's why, JJ, I know not you're not obviously going to root for the Gators, but I think the
You're right about that.
But I know, but the Jack.
But I'll root for an Italian kid.
Right, you'll root for
who can pitch and hit once he gets to the majors.
Right, he is the
Yes.
college American version of Shohei Otani.
And he's wonderful.
There you go.
Here's the deal, though. It happens a lot more in college than you think.
It does. Brendan McKay is an example. The Rays drafted him.
If you can do it in minors,
He's still in the minors.
then that would be next level. Like if you're able to pitch and hit and be good at both in the minors, then I'll really start paying attention.
And that makes sense. Taylor, do you like drama, yes or no?
In my life?
No.
Okay.
No, not your life.
Yes. I guess I can say that.
Do you like drama?
Absolutely,
Yes or no?
and in my life.
I don't want it in my
I
life.
live for it.
Well, when we come back, we're going to find out if Mia had any drama on the Bachelorette party last weekend. That's next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Tire Outlet on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville's other sports team. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Some people don't do well under pressure. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we do it best. Whether you're spraying down the shop or getting the winter grime off your house, a Northern Tool pressure washer says you're serious about spring cleaning. From an all-electric power horse to a Honda-powered North Star, we'll help you build your perfect cold or hot water package with all the chemicals, attachments, and everything you need for the job ahead. Northern Tool and Equipment. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
There's a new butcher in town. We're talking a vacuum marinating, sausage grinding, take and bake siding, value pricing, full service butcher. And our name is Southern Steer.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Who are Jacksonville's draft day targets?
All we want to do is win.
1010XL's draft coverage is brought to you by the personal injury law firm of Harrell & Harrell and renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. Follow the offseason with 1010XL and Tire Outlet.
Tacos, tequila, and tunes. The third annual Jacksonville Taco and Margarita Festival returns to TIAA Bank Field April 22nd. Check out Jacksonville's best food trucks, serving up an amazing variety of mouth-watering tacos with margaritas, tequila, and ice-cold beer. Fun for the whole family with live music, kids' activities, and so much more. Parking is free. It's not your average Taco Fest. Enjoy as you go with GA or Grande with VIP passes. Available now at TIAABankfield.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors. Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
On the outside, everything looks fine. But on the inside, an unseen enemy is plotting the destruction of your home. Termites can be deadly to your home unless you fight back with Southern Fumigation. 259-9811. They will service your home from inspection to completion. No contracting out your job to other companies. 259-9811. Southern Fumigation offers a free pest inspection with no obligation. That's Southern Fumigation, 259-9811.
When you look for that hard-to-find part for your car or truck, Rusty Acres is your source for used Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury auto parts. You'll get the parts you need and advice on how to install them. Rusty Acres, 786-1777.
Waste Management is paying a $5,000 bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine. Apply online at WM.com/careers.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in 295.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Stilettos and sabermetrics.
Helmets and heels, driven by Tire Outlet. Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
JJ, is this your song, Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival?
This is.
I love it.
And I usually have to think of two songs because Donna's not here and we
Right.
need one for next break.
Yep.
And I'm having a hard time with it.
I sent you one. I emailed you one if you need
okay.
it.
I was chit-chatting earlier. Did we, with Special Jennings, the JU Women's basketball head coach, did we play Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z? Okay.
There you go.
Because I thought that would be a good one, but I didn't pick it in case somebody else picked it.
No, Taylor's song was the Timberland song.
I ain't got no money.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's a very good one. Yeah,
I think it's called The Way I Are, which I don't know what that means, but
well, he did
Like
not
the
go to
way
the
I
same.
am, I guess.
He did not go to the same grammar classes that I went to when I was growing up. All right, Mia. Without further ado, was there any drama in the bachelorette party? Please tell.
No, the only drama,
Someone cried.
No, no. The only drama we had, we have.
See,
here we go.
Yeah,
JJ
I mean,
knew it.
Someone did cry. Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes!
I'm not gonna get into that. Because that person lives in Jacksonville, so I'm not gonna do that right now.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharon.
I'll share that off the record. No, the only drama we had was we got some sun poisoning for one or two, or actually probably two members of the group.
No tent, no umbrellas.
No, we had them, but we just forgot to put them up.
were they the Iowan?
No, one was local to here, one was an Iowan.
Okay.
So yep. So
you dragged them all the way to the beach and you forgot to put them up?
no, I didn't bring it. It was the Jacksonville native who brought the umbrella.
Okay.
She is now the one who had to go to the doctor this morning for first-degree burns.
Whoa!
Yeah. So that one I feel comfortable sharing because she was like sending me photos.
Some pasty ladies out there.
Yeah, I know.
Some whites.
Yeah. So that one's less than. Yeah, it's quite a situation there, JJ. But yeah. So that was not too great. We had another Iowan who got it, but she literally was just like, whatever. I go back to Iowa where it's snowing right now, and I was just like. Sounds good. Your back is like literally red right
Here's
now.
what people don't
She could
realize.
just go lay in the snow.
Right.
A lot of, I guess people that come from other places, but you see them at the beach or whatever, and they're just super red, and you could tell like this person's not from around here, or this is their first sun of the year or something. That if you get too red and sunburnt, it doesn't turn to tan.
It's just
going
gonna
to
peel off.
Right.
You're
Exactly.
not doing yourself any good, ladies.
Right. Exactly. So
This advice I have, way better than financial advice. A little bit at a time goes a long way when you're trying to build a base tan.
Absolutely.
Do like 20 to 30 minutes a day, and then you'll never get super sunburnt. You'll never peel, and also you'll be much happier and tanner.
Well, so then my question is, what's the difference between SPF 30 and SPF 100? Because a certain someone who is watching the show from my house right now, yes, went out and he bought SPF 100
Good,
to
safe.
ensure that we don't get it. We don't get the burn.
Guy.
Sounds like
I'm a 50
you,
guy
Kevin.
myself,
Too much for me.
but 100 is
I just want to know what
better
the difference
safe
is.
than sorry.
So there
Besides
is
like $5.
There is a thing, and I forget now, I learned years ago. I want to say that SPF 30, you just have to reapply more, and SPF 100 lasts a little longer. So for
Interesting.
someone who's going to reapply less, I could be wrong, though. That may be worth
Well, just
being
based on
real
simple
scientific.
math, it's close to 30% more.
Yes,
So.
3%. I believe Kevin said on the bottle. It's like 3.8,
yes.
3.8% UV rays or something like that.
3%, of course.
Yeah.
But
no,
the bottom line is, like, make sure you have a sun shirt, which is a long sleeve, like
Right.
thin shirt to protect you if you
a
are
hat.
very white.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Which we did not have at the Bachelorette.
Not just sunscreen.
Like,
No.
remember that kid who worked here, Dylan?
Yes.
Oh, I'd always
he
be
got
like,
fried.
bro, what are you doing living here? You need to move, man. This is not for your skin.
This is not your place.
Yeah.
He worked the one Jags game and came back on Monday
So
and was
bad.
just like crispy. I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
Poor
have y'all ever had a
Midwesterners.
really bad sunburn?
Of
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I do. Right,
Worse.
I have a little bit, but right now. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
No, I've had one so bad. It was Easter Sunday. I was 16 years old, and I laid out for way too many hours, and then went to church that night, fainted. I legit, that's how bad the sunburn was, fainted in church.
It was not God.
No, it was not a religious movement.
You woke up and you're like, am I tan yet?
Legit, when you're 16 as a girl, that's
Oh, yeah.
all you
Because
care
you use just
about.
like baby oil, no SPF.
Yeah, it's terrible. Anyway, keep going, Mia. Any other drama?
No, the only other drama, and this one I know Lauren Brooks is going to have a field day with. What if I told you?
Oh, a 30 for 30.
What if I told you?
I'm here for it.
Let's
The
just
Bachelorette
say
30 for 30.
it gave me a new appreciation for having grown up at the Jersey Shore and having spent, almost 5 years now in Florida. I didn't realize some of the terms when it comes to fish on a menu are not fully understood by other parts of the country. I was asked what MP stood for.
Market price.
Yes, market price.
Expensive is what it stands
But
Yes.
that's throughout the country.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just Florida.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and if you can't afford it, don't order it. Because you
you
can't
have
ask
to
how
ask
much.
what the
yeah,
MP
you can't
stands
ask
We're
how much.
giving away so much financial advice.
I know.
It's great.
But
That's
you
a
can't
great
be like,
show.
so how much is this?
Yeah,
you just
what
have
is
to either
market
order
price?
it
They'll be
or,
like-
or don't order
I
it.
was also asked what is a poke bowl.
Okay.
And then I also discovered that my good friends from Iowa didn't know when they ordered salmon eggs Benedict that it would not be lumpy salmon like when you order grilled salmon. It was salmon lox like you get on a bagel because they were very disappointed and very confused when it was not a fillet of salmon over an egg, which they also asked
Did
what
it cost $17 if
Yes.
it didn't? Then you weren't getting a fillet of salmon.
It did. It did
Oh, it
cost
did?
$17.
Okay.
And then we also had to explain what hollandaise sauce was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these are things, and I love my Iowans, man. But I just didn't think that. I thought these.
Well, yeah, you're with adults.
Well, they're not just landing on a plane and be like, give me some crawdads immediately.
I had crawfish recently, and they were delectable.
I just was like, dang, these are things that are such a everyday part of our vernacular. And maybe it's because seafood is so readily available. But there were a couple others too that I was like, I never thought that they don't, have that.
Just have that lingo every day. Well, and I have a friend who's also from right outside Chicago where I grew up, and they came down here to visit, and we went to a seafood restaurant, and I can't remember what exactly he ordered, but he asked for tartar sauce, and I was like, what did you just say? And he's like, tartar. And I was like,
What
it's
is
tartar?
tartar?
What is tartar? And so for just forever, that's what I call it now around him because I have
Naturally.
to. I have to.
But yeah, other than that, it was a great time. But
Did you see some live music?
We did see lots
Okay,
of, and they had
good.
a blast. The visiting Iowans loved the live music. They
Good.
were all on board. We had a great time. Shout out to Sabraj Charters. We had a great time on our boat tour through St. Augustine. We had a blast. Shout out to my guy Ian who's listening. We had a great time. A lot of music, a lot of dancing.
A lot of boys?
No.
Oh.
We actually, JJ,
Lies.
prepared. Wait, no, this is great.
They were Iowans, JJ. Which part did you
Come
miss?
on.
What does that mean? What does that mean? They
Sweet
don't
little
like, they
Midwestern
don't like
girls.
Southern boys?
That's right.
We were actually paired.
They're too tan.
Our group on this booze cruise was also paired with another group, and it was a 30th reunion of a sorority. And
some older cougars out there on the
they
prowl.
They had all the boys.
They had
in the yard.
They were, and,
They
but
had the milkshake.
They also had they had their the fans a fan,
personal fans.
Yeah, they were whipping.
Like you'd have in church?
Yes. They were whipping those around,
I needed that in
dancing to the
church.
music.
Get it.
They also came on board with their their personal glasses to have them pour drinks into.
See,
That's
now
what I'm
are
talking
you guys
about.
Seasoned veterans.
Yes.
It was amazing. Apparently, they're going on a cruise next year. They already have
heck
it
yeah.
booked. So.
Were you guys in matching outfits?
Nah.
And you guys wear the sashes?
She did wear the sash. She didn't
Okay.
want to initially, but then once we had it for her, she was like, "Yeah, I'm
It's
in."
how could I not?
Yeah, so she was in. No, we did the.
Did she wear a crown?
veil.
A
She
thing
had
on
a
her head?
veil.
This is
she
not
had a
the
veil.
Queen of
we
England.
we then left it on the boat. We forgot about it and left it on the boat. So there went the veil. And no, she just wore white, and then everybody else wore black. So.
Okay.
So there was still a theme to the clothes.
Yeah.
JJ, have you and your fiance had conversations about your bachelorette and bachelor parties?
JJ's
we
ready.
actually booked ours separately, but
Okay.
on the same weekend. How crazy is
That's
that?
perfect, because then you'll
So,
both be out of town.
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas and she's going to whatever the hell lame stuff she's doing.
Do you know? Do you know? What
They're
she's doing?
going with the girls trip to a beach somewhere or something,
Low key.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm me and the boys are going to Vegas.
You got how many
All right.
guys going?
10, I think. We've had a couple drop out. One of my friends is newly sober. So he's
Probably not the best first trip.
Yes, he's over a year sober. Congratulations
Good
out
job.
there. You know
Round
who
of
you
applause.
are. But yeah, he was contemplating it, decided not to. He claims it wasn't because of that, but I think deep down it was.
Yeah. So you guys both were just like, hey, book your trip, and then you talked about it, and it was the same weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is.
Now, do you have any specific rules?
That I would set for my friends?
No,
like,
for
is
each
she
other.
like,
Oh, well, I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, we're not cheating on each other.
Right.
But
But
JJ may have
no,
some.
that-
Not
she-
like this
like
is
no
the most you can spend while you're in Vegas.
Oh, no,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm not spending any of my money to stay or fly there, so it's all just
Oh, okay.
gambling for
Nice.
me. And food, I guess.
Although
But
the
will
more
you-
you gamble, the more they feed you, right? Or is
I-
that just drinks?
give you drinks?
Yeah, I don't know about the food, but I mean, if you're gambling all night, you're getting comped for different stuff. I've only been once, and I wasn't exactly in the high roller suites, so we'll see.
Will you have some female friends there though?
Are we bringing girls?
No, will you make some female friends?
Me?
Just
No.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. But my
Okay.
friends very much are going to be doing that, yes.
Will you have a sash?
I'll have a crown.
Honestly,
I'll
I
have
may
a crown
buy
and
him
a
one.
cape.
A cape and a crown.
A
We'll
walking
make sure you
stick.
have both of those. All right, we've got one segment to go. We got to get to NBA playoffs and a whole lot more. The Iceman as well. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Charlotte on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Keep your quarter panel clean with 1010XL.
Put the car against the wall wide open.
This Sunday at Talladega, brought to you by Famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous. On your NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Honda has done it again with their all-new exciting SUV and truck lineup for 2023. HRV, Pilot, Passport, Ridgeline trucks, and our popular CRV hybrid. This is without a doubt Honda's most impressive lineup. Visit your local Honda dealer today. We're dealing.
It's time to play Fix That Plumbing Problem. What do you do if you have a clogged drain? Contestant 1?
Use a different drain?
No, that doesn't really fix the problem. Contestant 2? That's right. Just call the duck.
Don't let plumbing problems linger. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. Commercial, residential, any plumbing issue or project.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound & Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundAndSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundAndSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the swamp.
Gators.
I'm Taylor Dahl. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
What if you could be credit card debt-free in 10 days and save as much as $1,000 a month? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. Hey, it's Prosser here. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low monthly payment. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will only cost you around $400 a month. Use that money and pay off high-interest credit cards or do a home improvement project. You can access up to 90% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. So even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Stop the madness. Say no to 24% interest fees. Call Loan Pronto today. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or as always, you can visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Your quick and easy solution for paying the lowest price on car insurance is Estrella Insurance. E to the T here, and start saving the big bucks and pay less today. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE and see for yourself. That's 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE or visit EstrellaInsurance.com.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself? Call J-Dog. Here now, proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com.
Tide Power Pods have 85% more Tide.
Who needs that much more Tide?
Well, when giving your muddy dog a bath turns into you getting a mud shower. Yikes, you're gonna need more Tide. When your wine tasting becomes a wine spilling. Yeah, you're gonna need more Tide. Or if your favorite shirt is your kid's favorite napkin. Greg, I'm gonna need more Tide. My mom gave me that shirt.
It's a mess out there. Tide Power Pods have 85% more Tide versus Tide Pods.
Hey, Jack's Beats, Jeff Loggeman here. Hungry for the best brisket, pulled pork, spare ribs, jalapeno poppers, banana pudding? The Bearded Pig is there for you on 3rd Street to feed your whole crew. And don't worry for the folks in town, we're still here in San Marco. The Bearded Pig, Southern Barbecue and Beer Garden.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
8 Sparky. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
I'm Liz Gruby, the events director at the Jacksonville Business Journal. We are in the middle of our awards nomination season, and we are looking for the fastest growing companies in Northeast Florida. If your company has grown exponentially between 2020 and 2022, in percentage or dollar terms, visit jbjevents.com to nominate your company for our Fast 50 Awards. The deadline to nominate is April 20th, and I look forward to learning more about your company's growth. To learn more about our awards, visit jbjevents.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
I need a dollar, that's what I need.
These heels are made for talking.
Helmets and heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Aloe Black? Yeah. Our music theme tonight.
Like, Jalen, will you share your dollars?
Yes, please. Stingy.
That's right. Songs about being broke on the heels of Jalen Hurts. The opposite of that, getting paid a whole heck of a lot of money. 5-year extension, $255 million. Not the most money guaranteed ever in the NFL, but certainly now he makes the most per year at $55 million a year, and it's a no-trade contract. So Jalen Hurts is sitting pretty, but we decided to go the opposite route and songs that made us feel broke in comparison to that contract. All right, when it comes to the NBA playoffs, JJ, I'm going to give you the floor.
Oh, wow.
I act like I have not watched a lick of the NBA playoffs so far, because that's close to accurate. And tell me the most fascinating storylines to this point.
Yeah, I'll tell you. There's some series you can just disregard.
Okay, excellent.
So right
Perfect.
out of the way, the Celtics series, they're going to win easily.
Okay.
This Philly series against the Nets, they're going to win easily. Don't even watch that.
Perfect.
Pay attention to the Kings series. I know it seems...
I've been kind of following that.
Yeah, it's 2-0, but the games have been really close and really fun. And now, especially with this Draymond thing, Game 3, who knows what we're going to get.
And also, the Kings are up 2-0, and the Warriors haven't found themselves in that position in the opening round since 2007.
And they're at home.
And according to ESPN, teams that go down to 0-2 have an 8% chance to advance to the next round.
Mm-hmm.
So not looking good for Steph and the defending champs.
And I saw that Trevor is the Kings, maybe not fan, but
everyone wants to light the
saw
beam.
that.
Yeah, everyone wants to light the beam. It's like the new hip thing, just like Suns and Bucks and 6. It's like the new hip thing.
So there's a video from the Jags, I guess, where they filmed
Correct.
him walking into the building
yesterday.
today, and he's like, I don't know. I guess I like the Kings. And people are like, Trevor's a Kings fan? Like, that didn't really sound like he was a huge
no, definitely
Kings
not
fan.
I think he just
He's
was
excited
like,
about
all right.
the team. They're a young team. They're fun. They're new.
Yeah.
And by the way,
he was
light
trying to
the
remember
beam-
who was in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you had asked me before the NBA playoffs started what light the beam meant, I would have thought that was like a Star Trek thing. Like
I
would have thought it was a hockey
means.
beam me up, Scotty.
Is that like the Kings thing?
Yeah, that's like their new slogan.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Everybody has their own. It's
But
like
this
if
is
you're
the
not
first
local, you
time-
wouldn't get it.
Right. This is the first time Sacramento's been in the playoffs in quite a while.
17
2004.
years.
Yeah.
Or no, 2006. 06,
Something.
yeah, something like that.
So yeah, that's
they haven't
impressive.
won a playoff series since 03 or 04.
So what's
probably
happening with the Warriors? They're just not that good this
No, I
year?
just think the Kings
They
are
haven't been
catching
good
lightning in
this
a
year.
bottle. The atmosphere in Sacramento
Were they
is
they were their 6th seed? The
Yeah,
Warriors?
they're sixth seed.
They've been pretty terrible on
Yeah.
the road all year. Like they've been under 500 on the road. At home, they've been pretty good. So I'm not shocked that they lost at least one. But I mean, to lose both of those games on the road,
Yeah, that hurts.
it's going to be hard to come back from that.
And I also agree with 5633 on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. De'Aaron Fox has been unreal.
Awesome.
We've kind of been waiting. I mean, he dropped 38 points on Saturday night alone. Like, we've been waiting, JJ, since he got drafted for, like, when will the De'Aaron Fox we saw at Kentucky, like, come to fruition?
People thought he was going to get traded. People
Right.
thought he was a bust, before this
I
year.
think a big part of it was, like, he needed a Robin to his Batman. And
Sabonis is great
he
there.
has him.
and-
I mean, he even has old man Harrison Barnes, which I think that's huge because that's why I think you saw the Suns make the run that they did 2 years ago because they had Chris Paul. Same reason they could make a run this year. And I do think that what do they call him in Atlanta? Kevin Herter. What do they call the ginger?
I love Kevin Herter,
What's the name
man.
that they have for him?
I don't know.
They have a name, something with red. I forget what it is, but I think he's underrated. Obviously, fan of Keegan Murray. Covered
Red
him.
Velvet.
Red Velvet. That's what they call
Love
Kevin
that.
Herter. Yes, Red Velvet. Keegan Murray covered him since he was 15 years old. If you had told me 7 years ago that he would be doing what he's doing and he would have gone number 4 overall, I would never have believed you. But here he is. And so, yeah, I just think they're a fun team. They're scrappy. And if you're looking for a good storyline, obviously it's a David versus Goliath situation, but it's also so cool how, like, the city of Sacramento truly did, like, light up the last few days. for
And
them.
Malik Monk.
Yeah, who was De'Aaron
Another
Fox's
guy
running
who
mate
has
at
sort
Kentucky.
been around the league, a few teams, and it's just was like a three-point shooter, and he's come into his own. He's awesome. I think the Warriors could still win this series pretty easily. I don't think they will at this point, but they could. Another one to look out for is the Lakers. The Lakers play tomorrow night. It's been a while, so it's going to be like 3 days in between games. But they won game 1. It was pretty close. Ja Morant sort of has a hand issue. So if he's not back, the series is a wrap. But if he comes back, which I think he will, it doesn't seem too serious, it could probably go 7 games. This is going to be an exciting one.
And Giannis also, by the way, in the Bucks series.
I think he'll be back.
I think that's.
I think he had a hurt bum.
Yeah, but he's apparently doubtful for tomorrow.
hurt bum?
Really?
Yeah, they said he's doubtful
Whoa.
for tomorrow. I know.
Well,
I
then
mean,
that's something to
the
watch out for.
Yeah, the MRI came back clean, but apparently
Yeah, he
It'd be
fell
like a
hard on
bruised
his back.
tailbone.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are difficult. By the way, De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk are the first pair of teammates who attended the same college to score each 30 points in a playoff game since Clyde Drexler and
Whoa.
Hakeem Olajuwon for the Rockets in 1995.
That's a saucy nug.
Yes, it sure is. But yeah, I won't pay attention until we get further into it. But I have been following the different injuries and the different storylines, and I do realize that it seems like the Sacramento Kings team, if you don't have a team in the NBA playoffs, it seems like people are going to gravitate towards them because, like you said, they haven't been in the playoffs in so long.
Suns, Clippers as well. Like
Okay.
all the West is pretty fun. The East, I think it'll be fun towards the very end.
Is it the Bucks to lose at this point, JJ?
Well, now I'm confused.
Right,
I mean,
without
with Giannis,
Giannis.
but I think even honestly without Giannis, they could win that series. So I think
Didn't
it's
Heat lose someone too?
Hero,
Tyler
Tyler
Hero.
Hero.
Yeah,
broke his
Tyler
hand.
Hero.
I think it's going to be the Celtics or the Bucks, and to me, it's a toss-up.
Which Tyler Hero also played at Kentucky, and I have bad feelings about him just because of Florida v. Kentucky. By the way, the Jumbo Shrimp, before we get to the Iceman, the Jumbo Shrimp began a 6-game series tonight. They most recently went 3-3 when they were at Charlotte tonight against Nashville Sounds, and that'll be the 6-game series. We have a pair of tickets if you want to go see them anytime between tomorrow night and Sunday. If you want to go to the game, be caller number 2 right now at 641-1010. You will win the pair of tickets to go see the Jumbo Shrimp. Again, home against the Nashville Sounds, which, by the way, I love that team name, the Nashville Sounds.
Yeah.
I think
very
that's great.
fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. I have friends that went to Nashville last weekend, and you know how much I love Nashville. I was like, I think I need to go back soon. All right, Taylor, when it comes to the Icemen, they made the playoffs.
They are a 2 seed after this weekend. They scored a point in OT on Saturday. They ended up losing the next night, but it was enough for them to clinch that 2nd seed in the South. So they finished the season 44-23-5, 93 points, just 2 points behind the Stingrays. So it was close. That division was really tough this year. It went back and forth between like 3 or 4 of them sitting at the top. So the Icemen really had a battle towards the end to end up clinching that 2 spot, but they did it, which is good news for the Icemen because that means they get to start at home, the series at home. So the first 2 games will be here. They're playing the Greenville Swamp Rabbits on Friday and Saturday. And then obviously they hit the road for 3 games, and then if it needs more than that, it will come back for the final 2. But it's going to be fun. The hockey playoffs are amazing anyways. The Icemen do a great job. They battle this year. I heard there was several good fights in the games over the weekend.
Nice.
I was trying to go to one of them and then ended up not being able to. I'm trying to get my nephew to one because I feel like he would like it. He's 2.5, but he's still, I think, would be interested enough to really enjoy it. So maybe I'll take him to one of the playoff games. But they're good. They're good. They're battling right now. Most of the games, even a lot of the losses were close ones, like maybe by 1 goal and the final seconds of a game. A lot of their games kind of came down to that. So it'll be a really fun series, I think. I do think they are a better team than Greenville. So it'll be fun. But get out there Friday, Saturday, because obviously the more fans we have on the Iceman side, the better it is.
And also they ranked number 1 in attendance in the ECHL this year.
I think back-to-back years.
Yep.
Because last year I want to say it was the same. Which Coach Luco, he took over last year, and he's just done such a great job. I love because he'll join Dan and Jeff in the morning once a week during the season, and every time he comes on there, it was like 1 week he'd come on and the Iceman would be number 1 in the South, and then the next week they'd be back down to 2, and Dan would be like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Our division's really good. Like it's not like we're playing great hockey, but that's what it is." But Luco's he's done a great job, so it'll be really fun.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there are people that have never been to an Iceman game. What should they expect?
A lot. Obviously, if you've never been to a hockey game in general, it's constant. So it's one of the things I always tell because my friends who go to a hockey game for the first time and have never been, just to let you know, you cannot leave and come to your seat while the puck is in play. So if they stop you at the top of the stairs, it's not because they're picking on you. It's because you cannot walk down the stairs when the puck is in play. That's one thing that always throws people off. But it's a constant game. There's obviously things. Learn maybe a few of the rules before you're going. Icing, so you're not confused with that. Power plays, penalty kills, stuff like that. The bigger things will help you just kind of understand the few time there is stoppage in the game. There's a chant that they do when the Icemen do score. So I
love it.
I do too. I love it, and it's so fun. It's always they kind of use the opposing team's goalie. So you have to also know what that is, which most of the time you'll find in the program or on Twitter before the game. But if you know his name, they'll usually kind of like chant that, and they'll say like, "We shoot. We score. You suck. It's all your fault. It's all your fault." So it's so fun, and it's a good time. It's constant. Hockey's one of the games that will go by quickly. They're a little scrappy, not as much as they were. I'll say like 3-4 years ago when they had like Garrett Hunt. Garrett Hunt was always fighting people, but they do have a couple scrappy guys on there. They actually just got one back today. He was up in the AHL and just came back down. So we're getting they're healthy, which is good.
That's
so
great.
It's a lot of, it'll be fun. I'm super excited.
And they do have a press conference tomorrow. Yes, exactly. I'm assuming just to discuss the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what they just kind of said, Kelly Cup playoff. I'll be going, so I'll obviously, and it's at the Igloo, which I have not been yet, so I'm super excited to see that too, their new facilities over there.
Wear warm clothing.
Yes, yeah, because there's 2 rinks in there, so it's probably frozen.
That's actually good advice.
Yes, bring a sweater.
Of all the advice I've given tonight.
Just because you live in Florida.
Because it is chilly in there.
Wear your joggers, bring your parka. Mm-hmm. Joggers might be one of the greatest things that were ever invented. Like cute sweatpants is what I call them. All right, so final gymnastics update of the year. I know JJ's ready for us to put the.
Did we win?
No, we did not win.
No.
Wait, can I take you behind the curtain too? So in our
I'm not having
in
that.
our 1010XL multimedia department group chat, Graham Marsh was locked in, of course, being a Florida alum on gymnastics, and he's in the group chat, and he's just like, Florida's about to win. Someone needs to make a graphic.
He may have jinxed it.
Someone needs to make a graphic. Someone
He's
needs
about
to
to
make
get
a
my
graphic
rap tomorrow.
And Taylor responds, Graham, Mia's at the Bachelorette. She can't help right now. She's. It's a Saturday.
So did we get silver?
And also, if you're watching, you should make the graphic, Graham. And then he goes, well, it doesn't matter because we just lost.
Yeah, so...
did you lose or did you get a silver?
No,
did you win a silver medal or did you lose the gold?
We won the silver medal. I will say, well, you can look at it two ways. One, Oklahoma's the team that won last year. Oklahoma had the best team all season long. They went wire to wire, #1 in the country. And Florida competed at Oklahoma earlier in the season. And granted, Jenny Rowland, the Florida women's head coach, she sat a bunch of gymnasts, so you can't exactly say that Florida gave it their all. But Oklahoma trounced Florida in that meet. So I knew going into this, Oklahoma's the favorite, and it's going to take literally every effort and every ounce of greatness in Florida's gymnasts to be able to win. The Gators did have 2 issues, but it didn't cost them the meet. So one, Ellie Lazari, Florida started on beam. Ellie Lazari fell off the beam. What that means is then you have to count every other score. So if anybody else has what they call a balance check, which is when they do, say, one of their flips and their arms kind of catch them midair to keep them on the beam, that's called a balance check. That's a deduction. So Florida had to count every other routine outside of Ellie Lazari's. Normally, you'd like to count her routine. So that was an issue. And then also Leanne Wong, who's normally flawless on floor, she stepped out of bounds. So now you have to count everyone else's routine.
Step out of bounds.
She did, yeah. She stepped out of bounds, which literally never happens for her.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, so then Florida had to count a few 9/8s on floor. The problem is Florida shouldn't have any 9/8s on Florida. Florida is a team that traditionally has, and all season long, has had multiple 9/9s on floor. The only thing, the reason I say we didn't lose it, JJ, the best gymnast in Florida history, Trinity Thomas, she had been hurt a couple weeks before. She did compete in 2 events on Thursday and in 2 events on Saturday, so she did not do the all-around, which certainly hurt Florida, but she did the best. She did certainly competed at the best of her abilities. She got a freaking perfect 10 on vault. It was unbelievable. She then tied the NCAA record for perfect 10s in all of gymnastics with 28. So that was unbelievable. She had a chance to break the record competing on the uneven bars. Unfortunately, she did not get a perfect 10 on that, but she did the best she could, and really it was up to the other Florida gymnasts to be able to get 9/9s or higher on floor, and they didn't do that. So they
are we rebuilding now? Or
that's a great question.
Are we
have
reloading?
a lot of we're reloading. We have a lot of great depth. Kayla DiCello, who I know Taylor's heard that name a lot in doing updates. Kayla DiCello was one of the best.
I'd definitely step out of bounds.
I wouldn't even
you're
get
light
in
as a
bounds.
feather. Light as a feather. She is a freshman this year, so she'll be back. She'll be anchoring the team. And there will be some other, Victoria Nguyen and Leanne Wong. There will be some other gymnasts who did great all season long. But it is heartbreaking when literally one of the best in the sport all time is going to walk away without a national championship. Florida came so
Well, and
close.
also the way the season ended for her, too.
Correct, with the
at
injury. Yeah. And it's the second year, not in a row, but 2 out of 3 years that she's had an injury late in the season. And look, some people would probably question, well, should she have done as many events as she did all season long? Well, if that's what she wants to do and she's trained her entire life for this, you're not going to take it away.
So what do you do now? You go to the Olympics?
Yes, that's what I assume she'll try and do. It's very blurry, that line between collegiate gymnastics and Olympics nowadays, because it used to be you never went to college if you were going to be an Olympian. But like Leanne Wong and Suni Lee from Auburn, they both have participated in the Olympics. So I assume that's what she'll transition to, but certainly I'll be following her career like many other people will be if that's the next step. But
what about my girl
kudos
from
to her.
LSU?
Your girl from LSU, Olivia Dunn, speaking of joggers. Olivia Dunn, LSU participated in the national championship, but I don't recall her doing anything.
So she's like the Annika
That's correct.
Sorenstam. Annika Sorensen's a golfer, right?
You're correct, yeah.
And she's also attractive.
Anna
but yeah,
Kournikova was the one who was a tennis player.
Yes,
she was
that's
hot,
correct.
but she wasn't great.
Yes. I had some of her shoes, like her branded shoes.
I think Annika Sorenstam was like really good.
She was, yeah.
Okay.
And now she runs the Annika Foundation in Florida and around the world.
Just fun facts for you.
So
guys.
Really good junior am, by the way. That's how I first met Caitlin Schroeder. Coach Schroeder, the head coach at UNF's daughter, we were playing in the junior am. Stuart Weber and I were so excited to be paired with one of these international Annika champions because the year before we had the Italian national champion. I already got critiqued for my grammar once tonight on the text line. And then we say to the girl, we go, so where are you from? Thinking like Sweden. She goes, Jacksonville. But then it was Caitlin Schroeder. Little did we know. And now she's killing it at Alabama. So what a world.
Yeah, so Olivia Dunn did not compete in the national championships, but LSU, like I said, was in it. But if you Google Olivia Dunn NCAA gymnastics, the first thing that comes up, and we'll leave the show with this, Olivia Dunn shares steamy pics after LSU's fourth place finish.
She's like, I'm not going to play.
Correct.
But I'm going to play.
I'm going to reap in the NIL.
JJ's like Google.com.
Correct.
Check that out.
And we didn't get to
See
it,
how
but
good she did.
the Cavender twins look like they're leaving Miami for WWE.
How hilarious.
Hey, Instagram can be your friend in the NIL world. Just
Hold on,
do
the
it the right
double
way.
team girls.
Yes.
Yeah, double team girls.
All right, that's a wrap for us. Many thanks to Special Jennings, the JU women's basketball head coach, for joining us. For Mia O'Brien, for Taylor Dahl, for JJ LaSelva, I'm Lauren Brooks. Don't go anywhere, though. Into the Night with Rick Ballou comes up next.